Hi everyone, Stepan here. Today I'm going to play a training game because, as you may know, my goal is to reach 2100 lichess classical by the end of September. And I haven't been playing in the last 2 weeks, and the games I have been playing didn't go well. So I have basically 100 rating points to go, 98, and I have 6 days. So I'm going to have to play a lot. I think I've set up the settings so that I only play higher rated players, and I'm going to play random players because that's the quickest. It doesn't require me to arrange a game, and well, somehow I got a lower rated opponent now. Well, what can you do? I thought I set the settings correctly. Okay. So anyway, I hope to get 2 training games in today. I'm going to record them in separate videos, I think. And maybe even 3, although the third one I'm not sure I'm going to be able to record. But yeah, as I said, I have 98 points to go, and I hate failing my goals. So I hope I can manage. My opponent here still has a provisional rating of 1964. Let's hope he's not a grandmaster or something. Let's hope his rating is close to that. He seems to be moving really slow. So yeah, I want to mention something. Today I've introduced a new tier to Patreon because I have been getting a lot of requests on lichess and in the comments for videos. And to all of you who have been asking me to record a certain video or a certain opening or a certain game, thank you very much for the suggestions, but I just don't have time to fulfill all the requests, and that's why I rarely take any and I stick to my own schedule. So I've created a tier called Elekine or Alechin, which allows you to request 1 video per month. So anything related to chess that's not absurd, I'm going to record, as long as it's not offensive and it's not, well, anything that's not nice. So it could be one of your games, it could be any Grandmaster game, it could be any opening variation, any position you want to analyze. So anything you want, once per month, I'm going to analyze. And also the Alechin tier is going to get to vote on the recording schedule. So every now and then, I think once a month or maybe even twice a month, I'm going to... let me just concentrate on this. Okay, I'll play a move afterwards. So once a month or twice a month, I'm going to propose a recording schedule with several options, and then those in the Alechin tier and higher are going to get to vote on the openings, which I am going to record, and anything else basically. So if you want to request a video, please visit the link in the description below. Okay, so here we have the Exchange Slav. And I'm not sure what I want to do against this. Okay, yeah, taking with the pawn is correct. There's no doubt about that. Now, I think knight c6 is the correct move. Now, e6 has also been played. Bishop f5, I think, is too weakening because of queen b3. And this diagonal, which could become very dangerous with queen a4, bishop b5, queen b3, and they could get in trouble fast. So I'm going to play knight c6 when he plays knight c3, and then I'm expecting e3 and not bishop g5. If he plays bishop g5, I'm probably going to play e6 anyway. I want to keep my bishop on the c8 square for now to make sure there are no tricks. Although with bishop g5, I could even play queen b6. Okay. Now he's threatening knight b5, and this could become dangerous quickly. So I have to be careful. If I play a normal move like e6 or bishop f5, then knight b5 is annoying, and I have to play queen a5. Queen b6 immediately, I'm not so sure about. Although, okay, he could try e3 and then knight b5. If queen a5, he has knight c3 and bishop d2. I think I like his bishop on d2. But I still think I want to play the move h6. Okay, e6, knight b5, queen a5 check, bishop d2, I take the knight. e6, knight b5, queen a5 check, knight c3, I can play bishop b4. e6, e3, bishop e7, knight b5, queen a5 check. He has to play knight d2, the knight from f3 to d2, and then he's still threatening knight c7 check, although then I can castle. Okay, so e6, e3, bishop e7, knight b5, queen a5 check, knight f to d2, castles. Knight c7 is not a threat, so h6 might be a waste of time. Although I think I'm going to play e6 and allow knight b5 and play queen a5 check, and then we will see. I'm a bit worried about knight b5 because that often leads to trouble. I've lost a lot of games that way. I could also try... No, bishop b4 doesn't work after knight b5 because he still can play knight c7, and when rook b8 he moves his knight and is attacking my rook, and he has a perpetual at worst. We will see. So yeah, as I said, I created the Alekhine tier or Alekhine tier to give those of you who want a certain video recorded the option to request that. And I've limited the tier to 10 slots only, because that's the amount of extra videos I can record each month. More than that would be too much. I couldn't promise any more. And the difference with this tier is that the benefits or the request for certain videos is not applicable to higher tiers, so even the guys in the higher tiers cannot do that. It's exclusive to the Alekhine tier. Okay, so now my calculation was bishop e7, knight b5 castles, bishop e7, knight b5, queen a5 check, knight d2, although all of my problems could be sorted out with bishop d6 now when he has played e3. So bishop d6, knight e5 I'm expecting, and then knight takes e5 is impossible because I lose a piece. Bishop takes e5 is a bad move because I give up my bishop pair. And then bishop d6, knight e5, castles, knight b5. Then I have bishop b4 check, so that should be fine. I'm going to play bishop d6. Well, if bishop d6, queen d6, knight b5, queen d8, knight e5 is fine. And his knight on b5 can be chased away with a6. Why did I keep saying h6? I'm sorry about that. I keep getting the notation wrong. So bishop d6 seems more active than bishop e7. Bishop d6, queen d6, knight b5, queen b4 check, knight d2 misplaces the knight, and then I can castle. So that should be fine. I'm going to play bishop d6. I'm expecting knight e5, which should be the most active move. And then maybe even I can double his pawns and get rid of my bishop pair, although I'm not sure I like that. So yeah, I didn't have too much time to train. The last 2 weeks I've had a rough time because... Anyway, I don't want to get into that right now, but I didn't have time to train or play training games or record regularly, so I hope to start doing that now. Okay, he did play knight e5. What if I just castle? Then he is going to play knight b5, but then I can take on e5, because if d takes e5, I have bishop b4 check. So I think I like castling. Knight b5, knight takes Knight b5, knight takes e5. If he takes here, I take with the queen, and then he takes, and then I don't lose a piece because I have queen b4. So castles, knight b5, knight e5, knight d6, queen d6, d e5, queen b4 check, queen d2, queen takes, king takes, and then I can move my knight to d7. So I think this works. And also after knight b5 I can just play bishop b4 check, and now he no longer has a good retreat square. I'm lower on time again. I'm wasting a lot of time. So in my league game on Sunday, I don't know if you saw the video, but I had a problem with time management. I seemed to waste time on bad moves only. So whenever I made a mistake, I wasted time to calculate that move, and that's the worst thing that could happen probably. Okay, so now knight f to d7 would be a mistake because of knight takes f7, winning a pawn. So what do I do? Do I win the bishop? I can't. Knight h5 is defended. Do I take on e5 now? Bishop e5, d5, knight d7. If he plays f4, his bishop is out of game. I sort of like that. Bishop e5. If bishop e5, I have no problems. So he's going to take with the d pawn. Knight d7, f4 is the only defense. His bishop seems really stupid on g3 there, and it seems very unsafe for him. So bishop e5, d e5, knight d7, f4. His bishop has no squares. My queen is defending. My queen is defending the h4 square, and I've just been given the c5 square, so I could continue with something like knight c5, although that's not good because bishop c5. I could continue with something like f5, although that's not good because e takes f5, activating his bishop. How do I develop my light squared bishop here? So bishop e5, d5, knight d7, f4. Maybe I have time for b6. I'm going to do that because I like this option of him having a bad bishop. He would only have g3 and f2. I know it's not usually played. You don't usually give up your bishop pair just like that, but in this situation, I believe that my knights are going to be much better than this. Bishop has no scope, as you can see. So now he has to play f4, and or he can try bishop queen h5, but I'm not sure that's good. Okay, now his bishop is bad. Now I need to develop my light squared bishop, and I sort of want to play knight e7, b6, bishop a6. Although I could try, well, is my knight good on f5? That's the question. And can he play the move e4 immediately? Because if I play knight e7, he can play e4. And then he has the d6 square for his knight. So I'm looking at knight e7, e4. If I take, he takes and has d6 for his knight, because my dark squares are weak. So I've just weakened a ton of dark squares. And also knight b5 is now a threat coming into d6. So I think I want to play a6 to stop that. A prophylactic move, because I have weakened my dark squares significantly with this move, with bishop takes e5, and now I need to guard them. It would be terminal to allow knight b5 to d6. I do have a bad bishop, but my bishop has a future, and his bishop doesn't have a future. So basically when I play b5, bishop b7, rook c8, I can go for the move. I can go for the move d4, opening my bishop up. Okay, that's not such a big threat. I mean, if he plays queen c2, okay, b5 might be a problem because of queen c2, because he's threatening this and knight e5, winning my knight. So I have to be a bit careful. Although queen c2 can be met with knight b4. But do I have anything better in the meantime? b5 seems risky. b5, queen c2, knight b4, bishop h7, king h8. He has to move the queen, and then I can play g6, so it works. I don't think he can play queen c2 because I have knight b4 and bishop h7. I'm going to win the bishop with g6. Yeah, but that should be a draw. Because bishop g6, fg6, queen g6, check, it's a draw. Okay. Okay, yeah, this was a mistake because he has a draw now. So queen c2, knight b4, queen, bishop h7, king h8, queen moves. Okay, he stopped that. Happy to see that. Now I can defend everything with bishop b7. But I'm going to have to look at that because I think, well, obviously, bishop h7, king h8, queen b1, g6, bishop g6, fg6, queen g6 check is a draw because I have no squares for my king. Can just check me from h6 and g6. And now I have a plan for this knight a5 to b3 or c4, and then rook c8, and then d4. d4 is already a very strong move, I think, now that everything is defended. That would open up my bishop to the g2 square, and I think I have a much better bishop, to be honest. My bishop on b7 has to be better than his g3 bishop. He can never play f5 because he loses e5. And my h7 square is not that weak. I can always play g3. Maybe I should play d4 before knight a5. Okay, stops knight a5. That's a good move. So now d4, ed4, knight d4, bishop h7 check wins my knight. So king h7, queen d4. I can take on g2. Do I want to take on g2? So maybe I should just play g6 first. Is g6 too weak? What about h4, h5? Am I afraid of that? g6, h4, d4, e takes, knight takes, bishop g6 anyway, fg6, queen d4, bishop g2. That seems kind of loose, so I'm going to wait for him to commit. I'm just going to play rook c8 because I'm not sure about this position. I don't want to allow any tricks just yet. My knight has a second route, of course. My knight can go e7, f5. Or it could stay on c6 for now. Although I may have made a mistake. Maybe d4 was necessary now because he could have played bishop b1. Well, he can now play bishop b1 and queen c2 or queen d3 and threaten to win on h7, and then the situation changes. So d4, e takes, knight takes, bishop h7, king h7, queen d4, bishop g2, rook g1. That's very scary. And maybe I should just play this positionally. there's a clear weakness in the position that I can exploit. I don't have to play it like a lunatic. d4 is not necessary. I can just play knight b6, knight c4. I have a great square. If he ever takes, I have a passed pawn, and this structure is still weak. If queen c2, g6 or h6, and if bishop b1, I'll figure it out, but I think this is correct. I'll just play this positionally and play against his weaknesses. Obviously the move b4 has created a hole on c4 which I can exploit, whereas on the other hand there's no way for his knight to enter my position. He would have to go, well, how does his knight get here? Okay, this is a threat. Let's defend. g6 or h6, what's better? g6 comes with tempo, so I get knight c4 in. I like g6. I want to keep my squares secure. Okay. d4 now seems like a very sensible move. He can play bishop h4. Is that a threat? So do I play knight c4 or d4? I don't really believe in his attack. Bishop h4, just queen e8. d4. If he moves the knight, I take. I like d4. d4 is very aggressive, opening up my bishop. If bishop h4, I can just play either queen to d7 or queen to e8. Oh, I'm an idiot. Well, bishop h4, queen d7, he plays bishop f6. Sometimes I'm so stupid that that's unbelievable. I have to play f6 now. And if bishop takes, I can play queen d7 then. But I have to play it. There's no other move. And if pawn takes, I can play, I don't know, queen e8. He could take on g6 now. Yeah, okay, bishop takes. Queen. Jesus. Is he checkmating me with bishop g6? Yeah, I think I have to take the bishop. If queen d7, just bishop g6. Yeah. I have to take it. I'm so stupid. I underestimated bishop h4 completely. Yeah. I think queen e7 is the only move, otherwise knight d6 is happening. Yeah, this is busted. Very good game from my opponent. I missed bishop h4 and I missed checkmate. I didn't think bishop h4 was so strong. Yeah, so I'm an exchange down and I have absolutely no compensation. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to take because there's no other moves anyway. I want to play knight d5 and at least get something in return. At least have a pawn. I think I have to save my bishop, although then I lose a pawn. So I'm just going to allow him to capture. I mean, yeah. Missing bishop h. Oh, okay. I saw bishop h4, and then I said, bishop h4 is nothing. I have queen e8. Very bad. Still, I'm not giving up. I'm going to play until the end and see if I can manage to get something in exchange down. He should probably just take my bishop and try to weaken the e3 pawn with something like bishop e4. My rook is also kind of loose, so I need to get my rook to f8. Actually, if I manage to trade the queens off, I'm not sure this is so losing. Oh, that's a good move. So he wants to sacrifice on g6, so I should probably play rook f8 and rook f6. Yeah. Because now I'm threatening to take on f4 if he's not careful. He could then take on e3, but then I have knight takes b4 because my bishop has just opened up. But then knight b7, queen b7. I don't like that. Yeah, that's probably a good practical decision, just taking that. I wonder if bishop takes g6 works now, because my c6 knight is loose. Or maybe it did work. So now I have to keep defending my knights. If I play knight c to e7, then he's going to take on g6. Maybe I can counterattack with knight d4, but then he plays rook g3. But then I can take on f4, knight d4, rook g3, knight f4, defending g6. That seems nice. And also knight d4 supports e2. So I kind of like that. Although he can... No, he can take on d5 first. So knight d4, bishop d5. And I cannot take the rook because he simply recaptures there. So knight d4, bishop d5, queen d5, rook takes e3. Do I have anything there? My knight is on d4. I can play knight f5, chasing his rook away, but I don't think I have anything. I don't think knight d4 is a good move. Maybe I can play e2. e2, rook e1, knight d4. Bishop takes d5, queen takes d5, rook takes e2, queen d1 check, no. Knight d4 is tricky, but it doesn't work. e2 is tricky, but it's just bad. I'm going to play knight d4 because that's annoying for him. He should take on d5. And then I could, if he takes on d5, I could take the rook on c1, but I think that's too dangerous with knight e2 check and taking on c2. But then he can take on e6 with check, king h1. And I have no idea what's going on there. Oh, he just takes there. Oh, sometimes I'm stupid. Although, maybe now I can play queen b6. Queen b6 seems like a very nice move now. But then he can take on g6, but then it's just a draw. So queen b6 threatening to take the rook. If he takes on d5, I'm going to recapture, and then I have knight f5. So queen b6 seems very nice. Might be bad, and I'm missing a lot of stuff, but it seems nice. If he takes on g6, I don't think he has more than a draw. Bishop g6, hg6, queen g6, king h8, and rook h3 checkmate. So yeah, he can take on g6. He can take on g6. So after bishop g6, I need to play knight f6. Yeah. Bishop takes g6, knight f6. I cannot take because I get checkmated. Oof, good. He took. I'm happy to see that. He has rook here, but then I win. So now I'm happy with my position. I think I'm better now, because if he moves the king, I play knight f5. If he moves the rook, I play knight f5. If he moves the queen, I play knight f5. So he messed up somewhere. Yeah, this should be winning for me now. I don't see a way to defend. I'm going to get the exchange back and should be perfectly fine. The f4 pawn is weak, my d5 pawn is strong, my queen is perfectly placed. I think he should have taken more time. I don't think knight d4 was a good move, I just wanted to play a tricky move. He took on e3, which I missed, but then queen b6 I think was a good move. Although he should have just taken on g6, because if bishop g6, just knight f6, otherwise it's checkmate. It's checkmate. Yeah, I don't see a way for him to defend this. Because I'm not just winning the exchange, I'm actually winning the game. I'm going to win the whole rook. Because if he plays king f2, which is the only way to defend the rook, then knight f5 pins the rook, queen h3 is the only defense, then I have rook e8, triple attacking. Then he can play rook c to e1. But then I can play d4 perhaps. I don't know, I think this is resignable for him. It would be a very nice puzzle if there's a defense, to find a defense. So if you don't want this spoiled, you can pause the video. I have no idea what's going to happen, but there may be a defense. Pause the video if you want and try to find it. I don't see anything here. Maybe king f2 holds. King f2, knight f5, queen h3, rook e8, rook e1. d5, rook moves, d6 check. I probably would have to exchange everything off there and accept an equal position. Okay, I didn't see that. That was a good defense. So just knight f5, getting my exchange back should work. Knight f5, queen h3, knight takes e3, queen takes e3. Then I can play something like queen f6. Yeah, I don't think I should waste my precious 2 minutes of the clock because I don't have any time. Okay, so what now? Queen f6, he takes on d5. I take on f4. He has a check. Have to play quickly. I don't have time to think, unfortunately. I spent my time blundering. If he doesn't take on d5, I'm going to play d4. Okay, good. And now rook d8, and I have a better pawn. I mean, it's not winning, my pawn is not winning, but it's dangerous. And good job for him finding rook c5, I didn't even consider that. Maybe queen e5 works. Queen e5, queen takes, rook d8, king f2. He's catching my pawn. But maybe I could play something like rook c8 and rook c3 and take on a3. I'm happy that he doesn't have 12 minutes anymore. He's getting close to me on time. We're both getting low. If I were him, I would probably play queen e5. I don't think queen d3 is a good move. Okay, checks. I guess I shouldn't allow any checks, so king h8. Now he can play rook d5, but I have rook d8, so that's fine. Could also try rook c8, rook d5, rook c8. I can never easily move my rook because he has a checkmate on g8. So let's say rook c8 check. Okay, this I'm fairly happy to see. And I'm not sure if I should play rook d8 or rook e8 going for this. I think I like rook e8. Because that cuts off his king from coming to the e-file and threatens rook e3. Winning the a3 pawn. Then he has a check. Does he still play rook d5 now? I think he does. Rook d5, rook e3, queen takes. Yeah, then we trade pawns. Rook d5, rook e3, queen takes d4, queen takes d4, rook takes d4, rook takes a3. Yeah, I'm happy to see this, to be honest, because rook e3, queen takes, rook takes a3. My king is cut off, but is the check dangerous? No, my queen is defending the check. Stupid. Okay, so let's see that. Queen d4, rook d4, rook a3. His king doesn't have that many squares either, so this should be just a draw, in my opinion. Although I have a passed pawn if I want it, so it should be slightly better. And now I do have more time. So if I concentrate and play a good ending, I think black is the only one who can win this. I don't think he has enough time to march his king to the queen side. Because rook a4, rook d6, rook b4, rook a6, rook b1 check, king g2. Now I'm going to go for that because now I'm threatening a5. So he should play rook d6 and I'm going to take here. He's going to take on a6. I'm going to play rook b2 check, king probably f3, and then I'll start marching my pawn up the board. The question is, does that work and is it enough? I should probably get my king up first before doing that. Now rooks belong behind passed pawns, so his rook is better than mine. And I didn't want to get cut off on the back rank. That would be losing. Now he doesn't have an option to cut me off anymore. I have to play h5, king h6. And this should be a draw, I think. The thing is, he doesn't have f5, because now that when I play king h6, f5 is illegal because my rook is spinning the pawn. So yeah, this is just a draw. No way to win this for either player. Maybe I'm still the one who can win, and I'm going to try, but if he ever moves the rook of the 6th rank, then I have g5 check. His pawn is pinned, so the king has to move back. Then g4 check, I'm not sure. Oh, this is interesting. I have... Okay, now if his rook ever moves, I have this checkmate. So what do I do here? Okay, so I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to play rook here, move my pawn. When he takes it, I'm going to checkmate him. He could try playing g4, but then I take on f4. Then he checks me here, I move my king, and I'm a pawn up. So my plan is good. I don't think he played this well. He basically entombed his own king for some reason. Activity is key in rook and pawn endings, and now, yeah, you can take my pawn on b3, I don't care. I'm going to checkmate you. Yeah. g4 now makes sense, but I'm going to queen my pawn. Yeah, I should have lost this game. Definitely. He cannot take because g5 is checkmate. Oof. Oof. I don't believe he fell for that. Yeah, okay. Well, he shouldn't have fallen for that checkmate. I mean, okay. Anyway, definitely an undeserved win, but I'm happy that I didn't lose rating points. I won 10 points, so let's look at the game. Before I blundered and allowed bishop h4, so all of this is fine. I want to look at bishop e5 here and see if that was correct. Bishop e5, best move. Yes! No, no longer. Okay. But bishop e5 was a good move, the engine said. Yeah, black is better after bishop e5, and he should take with the bishop. Fine. Ooh. Okay, b5 was a mistake. Knight b6 was correct. Queen h5. h6 was better than g6. Queen h6. Yeah, d4 was a horrible move because it allowed bishop h4, and I have to give up an exchange. I don't have to give up an exchange. I thought this was checkmate. How am I going to defend this? Well, this is ridiculous. Nobody would see this. Okay, so rook f6 was simpler. Oh, he was so winning. I hate when that happens to me. Okay, here I played knight d4, which is still equal. Rook takes. And queen b6, well, this has the same idea. What? Ah, queen a7 was better because I don't allow bishop g6. And I thought that after queen b6, if he takes, I have to play bishop knight f6, which is correct, but I still lose. Jeez. Okay, queen b6, if he sees bishop g6 is... Okay, rook c5 only move, knight f5, and let's see where it all went wrong for him. Yeah, this is a draw, this is a draw, this is a draw, draw. My technique was correct, it seems, and now I just move my pawn. And yeah, it's a draw. If he does what? What does he do? Okay, g4. And they take here, he takes my pawn, and yeah, it's just a draw. Yeah, he fell for this checkmate, which is surprising, but he was low on time, so he might have missed the idea. Anyway, good first game. See you a bit later on. I think I'm going to play another one later on. I'll just go make some Indian food, or I don't know if I have enough spices here, but I'll try to cook something good. Okay, see you later. Sorry about the bad game and missing bishop h4, but you saw a nice checkmate in the end, so I'm happy. Thanks very much, and yeah, stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.